Well, Dragon Folk, it's that time again. We are already back in a new spoiler season, but Wizards of the Coast has changed a couple things up on how they're doing spoiler seasons for the next few sets. Let's go ahead and talk about it. Welcome on in, Dragon Folk. I hope you're all having a fantastic day. I know I am. My name is Ashen Wings, and today we are talking about none other than the first look into Dominaria Remastered. Pretty much the new remastered set to be had, and again, a set in between a bunch of other sets, more product for us filthy, price-sensitive individuals to grasp with our grubby little hands. But is this a different thing? Are we getting an outlook from something? So for those of you who do not know, Dominaria Remastered is essentially a set that is going to be containing a bunch of cards that have all taken place in sets that have taken place in Dominaria. So you've got things like Mirage and Tempest and maybe even Dominaria United. You have the original Dominaria. You've got even things from Alpha, right? Because the Alpha stuff took place in Dominaria. Obviously, there's not going to be any kind of reserve list reprints in here, so calm down, reserve list haters. You're not getting anything out of this. But there are going to be quite a few awesome cards reprinted in here, cards that have not seen a reprint in a long time. So we'll go ahead and talk about a couple of the cards. And we'll even talk about what current prices for boxes are going for if you are interested in this set. So, got a couple cards, right? Hunting Grounds got a pretty solid reprint in here with a retro frame and a borderless version of itself. That is something to note, is that just about every card in here got a retro frame, but not every card got a borderless frame. And so some cards have all three variants, some cards only have one variant. It is all going to depend based on the card involved. But luckily, this is going to be a very straightforward set. The set contains only reprints, so for those of you who are looking for another reprint set like Double Masters 2022, this is going to be a fantastic place for you to start. And the good news is that as of the posting of this video, they already will have the entire card gallery for Dominaria Remastered up on the WeeklyMTG site. Now, that's something they have not done before. They actually previously it'd be like a week-long thing where people would be, like 8 to 10 people would be spoiling big cards at a time, and then a bunch of commons and uncommons would get leaked towards the end. But here, we have just the entire set being given to us tomorrow. Well, at the time of recording, it's tomorrow, but today, when you're watching this, is when it is released. So that is a change in the right direction, right? It kind of reduces all the need for content creators to make a new spoiler video every single day, because that does get pretty tedious, and I don't even do that. I couldn't imagine. Granted, if this was my job, it'd be a little bit different, but it's not my job yet, but we're getting there. Although they did also announce a couple things that are very interesting. So on top of them doing a 1-day full set release, essentially, for any spoilers, they did also let us know that Phyrexia All Will Be One is actually going to be pushed back. And this is due to the Magic the Gathering community, right? All of us have essentially spoken up on the fact that we're getting product too fast and not enough time to appreciate it or even get excited for it. It just keeps on coming. But what Wizards of the Coast did, in order to alleviate our cries because they heard that we got too many things all at once, they have pushed back the Phyrexia All Will Be One release by 1 week. Because originally, Dominaria Remastered was supposed to come out on like the 24th or something of January, and then maybe like 2 weeks later, Phyrexia All Will Be One was due to be released. So they pushed it back another week so that people could hold off on it. But now we just are going to be dealing with Dominaria Remastered. And with everything that has come out, right, we are not at all starved for product, right? People were talking about Infinity like it was the best thing ever, like not even a month ago. And now I have not heard any updates on Infinity, right? Because at this point, it's just, right, Galaxy foils and the Shocklands and so on and so forth. But it just blows my mind how quickly we're getting product. Now, with Dominaria Remastered, it is an all reprint set. There is nothing new going to be coming in here. It's just new variants that are going to be printed. And with that being the case, I think there's a lot of people who will skip this set. Although, if I'm being honest, I truly think that reprint sets are probably what you should focus your money into, because the reprint sets will at least contain cards that are well worth the money and are cards that are hard to find usually throughout the history of Magic and maybe going for a little bit on the market. For instance, we also got the reprint of Urza's Incubator, and Urza's Incubator has been reprinted several times, but it's still running around $40. So this is definitely not too bad of a pick in here as far as the set goes. Now, the set does come in draft and collector boxes, but the collector boxes are getting pretty pricey right about now. A collector box of Dominaria Remastered, as of pre-sale right now, is actually going for around $300 already, which is still actually technically more than something like Throne of Eldraine collector booster boxes, right? This is very much so it's same deal, 12 packs, right? But you get a lot more of these foil borderless cards in them. That's pretty much all you're paying for the collector box is more foils and better, card variants. But if you're just looking to draft something that has a whole bunch of different stuff in it from all over Dominaria, then getting the draft box is not too bad either. A draft box actually currently is sitting around $215 before tax. So not that bad. I mean, it's definitely not great, but this is a set full of high value reprints. So I would imagine that it's going to be well sought after, and not every one of the reprints is high value. There are quite a few that are under $1 that are hiding in the mythic slot or something, and they're not that great. You give any of these awful cards that have been reprinted 8,000 times that have gone and become garbage, essentially. You can't just throw a bunch of borderless glitter on garbage and just go, oh, look it's worth $20 now. How amazing. So as for Dominaria Remastered, I'm excited for it. I'll go ahead and even leave the link down below to the live stream that came on today of the day of the recording. And you guys can watch it and check it out there. You can see all the different reprints. There are some really, really good ones, but I'm not personally attached to any of them, I think that Hunting Grounds card is probably the coolest because I like playing Selesnya, but there's a lot of cards that actually have even seen a reprint in Jumpstart 2022. Oversold Cemetery, I think, was actually just printed in Jumpstart 2022, and that was literally a week ago. It was reprinted in there, and now they're reprinting it again, but in retro frame and in borderless for Dominaria Remastered. So there's a lot of controversy, right? Everybody's kind of here nor there in regards to this kind of stuff. At the end of the day, if you want my personal opinion, if I ever got myself a hold of this box, I'd love to crack it open. I'd love to see the goodies that are inside. I'd love to get some awesome reprints and some awesome cards to utilize for a deck in the future of some kind. But I don't plan to buy it, right? I don't really plan to buy many of Magic products right now, unless they're very cheap draft boxes. And that's just because, money's tight, right? That's how it's going to work out. But I do have to say that Dominaria Remastered is definitely turning out to look like a very, very good set. A lot of very fun reprints. Again, the draft environment seems to be well thought out. So if you're planning on drafting in Dominaria Remastered, you can do that too. Also, just as a reminder to you Arena players, Dominaria Remastered will not be coming to Arena. So nothing changes for you, essentially. But with a lot of spicy reprints does come a lot of spicy market shifting. And so you're going to see a lot of these original prints of these cards maybe fluctuate down, maybe they fluctuate up based on, what cards did not get printed in the Dominaria set. They say they pretty much covered almost everything throughout the world of Dominaria, but I'm sure they missed a couple things, and those things may even just jump in price if they have a low print count. But if I'm being entirely honest, I don't think it matters, right? This is a set full of reprints, and for $215, you can buy yourself a box of it, and that's just how that is. I don't think it is as amazing as we want it to be. I do think that if you are a collector or a investor, right, this is a set that you're going to want to buy, simply because it is going to be on a more limited print run, but it is going to have a higher print run than Time Spiral Remastered, which was a very big set back in the day, like 2 years ago or something. And there were not enough of those to go around. The prices spiked significantly when it first came out, and then several waves came out afterwards, and the price has now gone down a little bit, but then it's gone back up. It is still quite an expensive box, and so I imagine Dominaria Remastered having a amalgam of different cards from all over several sets. I think this is going to be something that is at least going to be fun to draft, and you're going to be able to find a really, really nice variety of cards throughout the set itself. Now, I did want to end off the video with the announcement, of course, that Blake had done at the beginning of this video, which you all can watch in the description, like I had said before. But they are trying their best to push back releases strictly because we, the people, have told them that it has become too much. Now, even though they've pushed back the Phyrexia All Will Be One release by a week, they are still doing the first look just next week. And according to Blake, they are doing that strictly because their first looks are meant for distributors and retailers to know whether or not they should start ordering the product, right? It's a sneak peek to get retailers interested in the product itself and see whether or not they will be buying some. So, we may be seeing things on Phyrexia All Will Be One in a week, which is really crazy because the last time this happened was with Commander Legends Battle for Baldur's Gate and Double Masters 2022. Essentially, we had one thing come out, and people were like, oh, okay, yeah, it's kind of an interesting thing. And then something better came out in Double Masters 2022, and everybody was like, whoa, stop what the hell this thing is. I don't need this. I want this thing. And I have a feeling this is almost going to be the same thing. I think that Phyrexia All Will Be One will have its first look a week from now, and people will just kind of go, meh, right, Dominaria Remastered. That's kind of where I imagine most players are going to be going. But of course, a lot of people are not willing to give Wizards of the Coast any money. So they may be getting nothing. We may just be getting nothing. So keep your eyes out for stuff like that. The whole list of cards that come in Dominaria Remastered should be up now. So you can always go ahead and check those out and see what reprints that you may be looking for specifically in here, if they're included. I quite like the different cards they added in here, right? Urza Lord Lord Artificer, High Lord Artificer. I can't remember what it is. And they've even reprinted Shivan Dragon for like the 17th time or whatever, but with new art. Some other stuff got borderless treatments. Some other things got just everything pretty much got a retro art treatment. It's not a terrible set, right? But I can't exactly say that I'm like excited for it. But that doesn't mean you shouldn't be, right? Do your own searching into this, find your own emotions, and make your own decisions based on your logic, right? Don't just buy it because you think this is some FOMO thing and it's going to sell out super quick. I don't think it is. We're in a position right now where for these next 2 years, Wizards of the Coast is going to be cleaning up the mess that they made in 2022. And because of that, there are going to be a lot of hops and skips and jumps to better themselves in certain areas. So hopefully we can just be patient and see what the future brings for us. But as for right now, we are definitely kind of in it for the long run. We've got several sets coming up in the next year. And with January being Dominaria Remastered, February being Phyrexian All Will Be One, March, I think we're getting something. And then in April, it's April or May, we're getting March of the Machines. There's a lot. There's a lot. But if you want to enjoy a awesome product that I personally recommend every day, all the time, forever, I'd recommend Jumpstart 2022, which you can actually go ahead and attempt to win a box of in our 1,000 subscriber giveaway that we're doing right on up here. So make sure to check out that link and see if, follow those directions, and you will be entered into the giveaway to win a box of Jumpstart 2022. Of course, we are also doing a Patreon giveaway where if you're a patron, you'll be, you essentially could be given away a bunch of packs that I've collected from box openings over this past few months. So if that is something you wish to do as well, the link is in the description down below. But being a patron is not necessary. I'm just happy to have you here no matter what. So let me know what you thought about Dominaria Remastered. Is it something you're going to pick up? Are you just so incredibly stoked for the product that you can't wait for it? Do you have stuff on pre-order? Are you going to skip the set entirely? Right? Let me know in the comments down below. While you're down there, make sure to like the video and subscribe to the channel as well if you have not already. And I will see you all very soon. Nerd out.